Peace and love, everybody. This is Leroy Gaffney from the Go Hard Nation podcast, better known as Butter Scud, the neighborhood thug. Glad you came out. Glad you come to see me today. We have a interesting topic today. I like to call, This was a topic of mine back in the days that was germane to my existence, as you could say. It was called the streets. It was hustling and drug dealing and all types of nonsense. Seems like a distant memory about hustling in the streets, but I think it's a topic that needs to be addressed because it's an interesting part of the Go Hard Nation and Butter Scud himself. So, where do I start? Okay. Started with back in the days, I was coming out of high school and having lacking financially, yet my father stayed in nice neighborhoods like Georgetown and other upper end areas in Chesapeake, but we were what we call rent poor. Rent poor means that Big Lee spent all his money on the bills and there was nothing left, so but if I had to have anything, I had to either ask for somebody like lunch money, or I had to get it out the rough, you know. So what I would do is, we would get around certain people, and if they drop something, we'd take it, as they would say. But at one time at this time, guy I didn't know, but turned out to be my best friend ever. Name was Dirty Mike. Dirty Mike from Nagasaki. That's what we used to call him. And he had a father, man. He had a stepfather. And his also name was Mike. Some could say he was a pimp or street dude. And he had marijuana. So all right, man. I was also told that never make your stories the suspects turn in the perpetrators. So we're gonna blur the lines a little bit. We're not gonna tell everything, but basically what he did, he gave us marijuana and products that we could pin J's back there, what we used to call them. And we would go there, sell them for $1, $2, make us some money, and we could have some lunch money, tennis shoe money, and stuff like that. So it was good. It was good, but I felt inside, man, and it was, it wasn't right to be around here selling people narcotics and drugs because, that's how I wasn't raised like that. So, once we did that, I stopped and I went to college. I walked on as a football player, linebacker for the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Good time of my life, man, but I was still struggling, broke, doing without. And I really couldn't keep my mind on football. And really, like you say, I walked on, so it really wasn't I wasn't a priority on the team. So I played a year. Tried to come back and do another year, but I couldn't. So halfway through that semester, I left. I came back, and I really didn't have anything, and I didn't know what to do because I thought maybe I could take this little associate's degree that I have from South Carolina State and do something with it. But like you say, this is the South, and this is Virginia Beach, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, Chesapeake, and they won't hire nobody, man, for nothing. Especially, you could be college educated all you wanted. You still was going to do maybe $8, $9 an hour at the most, so I'm out here grinding. Meet back up with my stick man, Mike, and he got something different than weed, and he like, man, let's get it in. You want to make some money? And first I was like, no, man, that's not what I am, what I did. You know, college had me thinking that, you know, black folks need to stick together and, you know, the only way we're going to make it is to, you know, get into these corporate degrees and, corporate jobs and make some money and stuff. And, you know, in a way I was brainwashed that way, to which I've been brainwashed the other way for the streets for a longer period of time. So, you know, I rebuffed the ideas. You know, I said, man, that's not me. I'm gonna try to make it. So I'll do every job in the book, man. I scrambling, cutting grass, doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So I finally landed this job at Nelson's Meat. It was downtown Norfolk. Scrambling to get to work. They're not paying us any money, but, you know, at least it's a reputable job. At least I thought, you know, I got through a friend. So going to work every day, grinding. He's doing his thing, my man Mike. So he's like, well, wish you luck, man. In fact, we were roommates at the time, so he was like, man, wish you luck. He was never one that, you know, talk bad about the working man. So we, you know, we had a good thing. He was hustling, I was working, you know. And one day, a guy came to me, was like, you know, the guy that got me the job, and he was like, man, you know, you guys got to tighten up, man. You know, it's gonna be tough around. You know, they're gonna get rid of the people that's not doing anything, and we gotta shut this down. And I say, we're gonna be firing some people. And I knew I was a good worker, man. I came to work every day. I did my thing. In fact, I gave him a ride to work. So I'm trying to figure out where all this coming from. So he was like, yeah, I've been here longer, man. So, you know, I know the ins and outs. So then one day, you know, we go to our locker. It's a pink slip there for me. So, you know, I go to my man, and he like, so when we get to work, it's a pink slip. I go to my locker first, and he was like, man, what's that? I said, man, that's a pink slip, man. They letting us go. They letting me go. So he like, see, man, I told y'all, man, you got to tighten up, man. You got to make sure you're doing what you got to do, man. You know, I've been here a while, so I know how these guys get down. So he goes in locker. It's a pink slip in there waiting for him. So he got this stupid look on his face like, man, what happened? So, you know, he goes to corporate office, ask him what happened. He just said, man, we found a better spot. And we don't need as many people. And we laying you guys off. And he looked at us like, you know, what do you want from me? You know, we trying to save money. You guys cost us money. That's when I realized, man, all that college educated, stick together, work for a corporate office, they're going to look out for you and stuff, was some bullshit. More than bullshit, it was some super bullshit that they put us through. So I said, oh, man. I go home. Look at my stick man Mike, man. He counting money in the front. I'm like, damn, man. Yeah, cuz you gotta get your money, man. You can sit there and live in that delusion that life owes you a job, or you can get out here and get this paper. I decided to go out here and get this paper. It wasn't I hate the community or I dislike kids. I want to sell it to pregnant women and all that stuff. And I'm going to dispel a few myths about hustling in the streets. One is anybody can do it, which is a total lie. There's some people don't have the people skills, the soft skills to sell anything to anybody. Then you got the person that don't understand compromise. That person will either die by the hands of violence or do a long stint in prison, because this is a game of strategy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? This is a game of supply and demand. It's not a we hate the streets or the kids or the family shit. Is how we gonna get this money and stay out of the way. You know, that's the smart hustler. Smart hustler knows that you know, we out here to do a job and the police out here to do a job. So if they do their job better than you, you go down. If you do your job better than them, you stay out of jail and stay out of trouble. And you can reap the benefits of your pull, as we would say. So I started off with them. Started off small, 8-ball, 62-ounce type thing. You know what I'm saying? And, never really saw a whole bunch of fiends. I saw more of middlemen. You know, we bubbled like that for a while and stuff. You know, I was always one of those cats that was felt as though I didn't want a real flashy car or flashy home and stuff. I was more to, stay out the way, get this paper, and keep it moving. So if you think like that, you can get ahead. Then one day I met another homeboy of mine. His name we're gonna keep nameless because he still has ties to the streets. And he came down from New York, man, and he Jamaican cat. And he was like, man, I get this work. I get the same thing y'all get. I get it cheaper and I get more of it. Like, bet. Man, do what you can do. See what you can drop us off. Comes back, gives us some weight. Start picking up more people, more friends, more customers. I start finding out that, he would have given this to us hard, but it was touched. I'm not saying touched where it was super bad. It was brought together, touched. So I'm like, in my mind, in my criminal mind, I thought, man, let me get this the other way. Get it powder form and let me do my thing, So I get it. I was able to make what we call extras on the street. I made 62 in about 70 grams. No complaints, no arguments. Okay. That's my extras. That blew me up a little bit. So instead of getting it one way, I asked to get it another way. Soft way. So he said, man, he really didn't want to do it, but he was like, all right, here you go, man. Don't fuck it up. So after fucking it up, I finally learned the right and proper way how to work this product. The thing of it is that from my college degree and my college mindset, I realized that this stuff came in what we call it came in sections and it came in areas. When you cook it, if you know the certain state that it's in, you can add or make it what they call on the street straight drop, or you can give it a little, give it a little muscle. It's extras, it's all about extras, it's all about weight. So once I learned that thing, I met I started doing my thing. I met another cat. And this cat, he was the white Puerto Rican type. He was a white Colombian type. And he was a cool white guy. He was a cool Spanish cat. So, we kind of got close, and he was the plug. So once we talked and we realized, man, I can get whatever. I said, you can get whatever, you can get me. He said, man, I can bring you whatever you want, bricks, large scale. So I'm like, I was nervous about it at first. And he had dealt with other cats around me. And he came in, so we came into the game and he brought what he had. And the first time he brought some work, He was dealing with me and another cat, and the other cat looked the world on him, which means he ran off with it. So when he ran off with that work, that put us about 10 to 20 grand in a hole soon as we got on. I'm like, all right, don't worry about it, man. We're going to make that up, man. That ain't nothing, you know. So start doing our thing, start flipping, doing whatever, you know. Things got good. We buying Rollies, we buying, you know, Expeditions and Benzes, and he was doing this thing. So, you know, once we start bubbling real well and stuff, we finally paid off that bill that we owed, about 20 grand. And soon as we did that, he comes to my house and he gets robbed again outside my house. So when he came back, we back in the hole. So I'm like, how the fuck we get back in the hole? Cause man, somebody got me. I said, where? He's like, outside, out the way. I'm like, oh man, what they got to do with me, man? That's your bill. But I couldn't leave that bill on him because then it'll be on both of us. So, you know, he goes back. You know, I get a strange feeling. So then he pops up again. This time he pops up with three other Puerto Rican cats. And they look like they want to do something to somebody. So, you know, I had my homeboy with me, my cousin, and it was like, what's going on? So they wanted me to take a ride with them. So my cousin was like, so I'm talking to my people, DT, and he's like, you ride with me, man, and then let my cousin ride with my people. So I look at him like, yo, man, I'm not letting my cousin ride with you, man. Look, I told my cousin go in the house. I'm gonna ride with you. Y'all stay right here. So we get in the car and he's like, yo, man, them cats want to ear or something. They think you had something to do with that. I'm like, DT, you know I didn't have nothing to do with that. So he's like, I know, man, but Connect want to ear. I said, what you gonna do? He thought, man, take. I said, man, he had nothing to do with this. This is between me and you. So he looked at me and he was like, Scott, I know you ain't had nothing to do with this, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna have to we're gonna have to eat it, man, and pay for it. So I was like, I mean, we just gonna have to do what we gotta do, man. I'm not gonna give you my stash, but we gonna have to do what we gotta do. So, long story short, they mean mugging me, but they get back in the car and they leave and go back to New York. I knew at that time it was the beginning of the end of that relationship. And subsequently, the work slowed down to a point where it was nothing. I would meet other guys here and there, and we would bubble a little bit. And, you know, it was good at times. Sometimes we would blow. Sometimes we would meet a cat that was, you know, he was a leisurely hustler. He wanted just the name. You know, I never met that hungry plug that I had with the one before. And basically what it did, I had friends, they would get some, we would work and all that until it just basically died off. And it was basically, I stayed out of trouble because when I would blow and I wouldn't be as showy. And when we fell off, which is those desert times, droughts, drought killers, you know what I'm saying? I stayed away from drought killers and drought babies. When a hustler gets bored and he don't have no money, or he don't have time to go out and club and show his ass and buy bottles, basically they stay home and screw and make babies. I stayed away from that. I did screw, but I didn't make no babies. So, you know, your numbers go up with ladies and everything like that, but it's still, you know, there's a time and period that could have marked me for life with kids and problems, but it didn't. And I stayed under the radar enough to the point where, yes, I caught a felony. But it was late in the game. It was some bullshit. Some cats tried to rob me, and, we had a shootout. And instead of the police telling us trying to find who was shooting at me, they charged me, and they found the E-pill, and they just blew it out of proportion. And let's just say, when you old school and you keep your mouth shut, one pill can turn into 3 years. Probation. I did. It was a mess, but it was one pill. So I'm like, okay, came out the game. I still dabbled here and there, but I realized that was short money now. So once I started working with me and my sister started a home health care company, and I got away from the streets. It's all a distant memory now, but it taught me that loyalty is a lot in this business. From what I do with my sister to the streets, I feel as though loyalty is, paramount in what we do. Keeping your mouth shut, staying low key, also paramount in what we do. And I also moving towards what we're doing now, which is the Go Hard Nation podcast and my other endeavors with Go Hard Gear, clothing line, and Pimp Nature, dispensary clothing line, and others, haberdashery that we would have for guys who partake in marijuana. And I realized that the main important issue with what we do is unit sales. Now I know other people are believing in stock market and real estate, which I dabble also in, but unit sales is what's very important to me, and I think to the black community. I don't know of too many businesses that still rely on unit sales, which I got from the streets. The more product sold, the more money made. I believe for the black community now, we're going to have some businesses where unit sales are important. Not always, meeting a whole lot of different people and making money off of them. Unit sales are important to me, and that's what I'm trying to push on the Go Hard Nation, is for power, which we're here all for. You must have a business that makes and sells a product or service, and you deal with a lot of people. Period. It's not going to be I meet this guy and I make money off of him and he makes money off of that, and then I get a percentage of this. I mean, that's fine. You can do that also, but for me, I believe the business calls for unit sales. So anybody, male, female, whatever you're doing, if you can make those unit sales, I think that's where your business will grow and be productive. This is a time where I guess the pandemic had pushed everybody home, and things that we think that we can make money off of, we really can't, because we don't meet a lot of people anymore. This is going to have to change to me, because sales are important. Many unit sales are important. So if we can learn to come together, make these things happen, I believe that the unit sales of Go Hard and the unit sales of Pimp Nature, two products that I sell and that I own right now, and that I'm trying to build into a bigger situation, I need your help. And if you feel as though you like some of the things that I got on sometimes, just hit me up. This is one of my Pimp Nature t-shirts, the yellow version. I also have, I have hoodies, jackets, that I'll be showing you from time to time in the business. And I hope that you feel as though that this is something that you can enjoy and wear and give to friends and family. You know, maybe we can become bigger and badder. You know what I'm saying? I think this is my way of going through things through like you say, for what I told you, the story through the streets. It shows you that I'm not afraid to get out here and get that money. I'm trying to keep it, legit now. Those days are distant memories. Some good, some bad. But it was a learning experience nonetheless. Like I said, I have I'm not the only one probably that lived this. I'm not the only one that feel as though the streets was the way to go. It wasn't a personal issue. It wasn't a negative force that I wanted to do, even though I found out later maybe a lot of the stuff I did do was negative. A lot of the stuff I did was was underhanded. If I saw that the cat was lacking, I may have took advantage of him, But that's a learning experience, and don't think that just happens on the streets. If you're out here and you in business and you lacking, they're gonna take advantage of you too. So that's why I always say with my Go Hard Nation podcast friends and family that like my grandfather said, keep your hands to yourself, but don't let nobody put their hands on you. You keep your feet on the ground, and don't let nobody put their feet on you. My grandfather was weird, but he was a stickler for one thing, and he always said, don't let nobody kick you in your ass. and he meant it physically, and he meant it, what's the word I'm trying to say? Spiritually or psychologically, because he felt as though to be kicked in your ass literally meant disrespect, and it was your right and your duty to handle it if anybody felt as though they could kick you in your ass. He felt as though that was disrespectful. I too agree the same way. Physically put your hands on me and not do anything, or to psychologically take from me and not give back is a problem and an issue that I will address, not violently like I used to, but more of a, this problem has to be resolved. And that's the way I carry it, It's not personal, it's not even a vendetta, even though sometimes it'll turn into one. But in the Go Hard Nation, we feel as though we get what we are due. We eat what we kill. And that's the motto in the Go Hard Nation. And we're looking for power. We're not looking to be any friends with anybody. We're not looking to be, cool with anybody. We're not looking for the clout chasing of it. We're looking for the power, the influence, and the money. That's it. It's not an issue of who we like or who we don't like. It's about power. And if you're not about that, then I hate to say it, but the Go Hard Nation is not for you, because we're here to influence those. We're here to gain power politically, streetwise, any way that we can. And we're here to stack paper through unit sales. And I hope that everybody understands what I said. I took your hand and walked you down the yellow brick road of the streets in my background. Reason I got that name Butter Scud is because anybody know anything about hustling and drugs is that when coke is made in these containers. And it's something that us hustlers, old school hustlers, it was called oil base or OB. That's the bottom of the container. When work is cut, They may use a oil-based cut, and at the top of the barrel, you got your fish scale, China white, beautiful. In the middle, you got what they call yellow diamonds. I heard Rick Ross talk about it. That's where the base, the cut, mixes with the coat. Then you got the bottom of the barrel, which is called OB, where when the oil falls to the bottom of the work is oil-based and it's hard to come back. You can't cook it. It's very difficult to deal with. And when you say butter, I was able to take that bottom of the barrel and that mid and do something with it. So when you see the work, sometime it was beige to brown. They were like, Scud, you got that butter and you know how to work it. So they called me Butter. And then when I get the good shit, they said, Scud, you had that missile. And my man I got, they gonna Norview, shout out to Fat Cat, he used to say, Scud Missile. So man, you got that Scud Missile. And Butter Scud came into play. So now you know my background, you know what I've been through, you know, that's a distant memory from now. And we can relive it or rehash it a few times other than this, but this was just a beautiful walk down memory lane. I'm back to now, and I hope to see you soon. I hope that you figure out that I'm not here just to yap. I'm here to sell something. So if you feel as though any of these products you need or any products that I've put on Facebook, soon to be Instagram, and soon to be YouTube, I'll be happy to send it out to you. I'll be happy to chop it up with you if you like to call me or email me at gohardgear@AOL.com. You know, we can chop it up, we can talk, and I hope to see you soon for the next installment of the Go Hard Nation podcast. And peace to you, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy this weather. Get out and see what's going on, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.